The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and ladies, before we get to talking, I know, how y'all doing?
Wake up!
Are y'all good?
Sleepy.
That was rough yesterday.
Yeah,
that was
no.
rough. That was not a fun flight
It was not.
home.
Oh, I bet.
No,
Yeah.
Pretty quiet as it should have been.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Aisha Morrison, your birthday was yesterday. I hate that you did not get a real celebration.
They did her so dirty.
That's
I
tough.
know. They didn't want me to be happy on my birthday, but I didn't let them take my joy away.
I love that. Did you get to celebrate? What did you get to
Yeah, kinda. I went to a wine tasting in Fort Worth. That was really dope. 'Cause I got a baby palate, so I'm trying to grow up some. And yeah, just got a lot of love from my family, my followers and stuff. So it was cool.
That's dope. Well, we are wishing you another happy birthday, even though we did yesterday.
Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. But unfortunately, the real is the real, and the reality is we got to talk about this game. The Cowboys fall to the Denver Broncos 44-24, the final in Mile High. It's still since 1992. They have won a game against Denver in Mile High, and to make it even worse, the Cowboys are 3-4-1. They have not won consecutive games, and they have not defeated an opponent with a winning record or have been over 500. Thoughts on the loss? And Christy, I'll just start with you. I mean, I know you were on the sidelines, so just what was going on down there? Really?
It started so well with Triquez Bridges getting the interception the first series, and then the offense marches it down, and then a self-inflicted wound first at the 1 yard line.
Yep.
Goal to go and get the false start and have to move back 5 yards and ultimately settle for a field goal. And then the defense comes out and looks to have a 3-and-out, a self-inflicted wound. James Houston lined up offsides and gives Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos offense a second chance. They march down, and that 40-yard touchdown run, I mean, he would not have been down if it were touch football. Mm-hmm. He wasn't touched on that 40-yard run, and it was pretty much downhill after that. So I just feel like not every week, but whenever it's a road trip, it's like we come back and we say the same thing over and over and over again. The defense not being able to get stops, more injury situations week after week, particularly on defense. And yesterday, the offense just, they couldn't turn it up, right? And we praised the team for complimentary football in the win over Washington. Well, it was exactly the opposite yesterday in a very disappointing and frustrating, lopsided defeat in Denver.
Yeah, Brie, Aisha.
Whew, guys. Yeah, I had a little optimism when there was a little bit of time on the clock there going into in halftime, because this team has proven if you put a little bit of time on the clock that this offense can get things going, and I thought the momentum was going to go there, but it was just killer after killer. And the penalties and the bad penalties, the pre-snap penalties were killer. I was like, anytime this offense got some momentum, not being able to line up, we're supposed to line up, like that's not acceptable at this point. It's really not acceptable at any point, but to have so many, when you know what kind of defense is on the other side, when you know that your defense is struggling to get stops. One punt, they make them punt once yesterday? Two times? Lord Jesus. So, not a recipe for a winning recipe, I should say. But this offense had a bad game. They really haven't had a bad game. This is what it looks like when your defense looks as it is, has it's looked outside of last week. And that could be a string of things that were happening. We know the Commanders were missing their 2 wide receivers. I think it showed. Last week they were able to get some leverage there in defense. That did not happen yesterday. Sean Payton, if you listen to his halftime interview that he had with CBS, he was clear. He said, we knew they had some injuries in secondary, and we took advantage. And they kept taking advantage, and it was very clear. I think that was their game plan. I'm not really sure what our game plan was. When Patrick Surtain went out twice in that game, especially the second time he was out, he didn't come back after halftime for a while. I was like, oh, this is when they're gonna go crazy on that side, and they didn't. So a lot of questions there. This isn't, I would say, not saying it's Shoddy's fault at all, but this was one of his more question marks on some of the play calling, I think, especially when you're talking about the red zone. You just felt like you had a lot of chances to do things that have been working, such as beating Javonte Williams and those aspects. But yeah, both sides of the ball. There's enough blame to go around, but the defense, that's the hard part to talk about, because it's like, where do you go from here?
They got Christine here shaking her head. That's how you know it's just
and like I say, more injuries. We'll talk about it as we go along, but you're going to be without 4 of your top 5 safeties. Okay? So we thought it was bad at cornerback, and then issues along the offensive line earlier in the season. It's just like piling on. I just feel like the football gods were piling on yesterday. Yeah. But, all the stuff with the offense, if you can't block.
Man.
Well, now, statistics don't show the story, right, Aisha? Because you say just a couple of sacks, but Dak was under duress the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, that's really where it starts. I mean, Bree, you made a fantastic point about the fact that, Patrick Surtain went out a couple times in this game. You saw the benefit of attacking Riley Moss in certain spots, but when you can't block it up, I mean, the tackles, we knew the tackles were going to struggle. Another thing about this defensive line for Denver is that they are so heavy in the pass rushing department, is that it takes your tight ends out of they're not able to be passing threats. So when Dak is looking downfield, he's not seeing Ferg in the middle and all this stuff. He is seeing his receivers on the outside, and he has to get the ball. We talked about it, getting the ball out quick, and it just wasn't there yesterday. And to your point, Bree, like, they just weren't able to get into a rhythm at any point in time. I did think that when they did run the ball with Javonte, you saw some positive yardage, but again, you talk about 9 penalties for 80 yards. That hitting yardage is huge. And to you ladies' point is that every single time they maybe started getting some offensive momentum, they have some positive plays. I mean, it's not just the lack of rhythm, it's the lack of confidence when you are going through this game. And I just felt like the offense couldn't get anything going. And I felt like defensively, this is good on good. This is one of the games where you needed your defense to make some plays. This is a middle-of-the-pack offense for Denver outside of the explosive plays and some of the stuff that they can do. Could this defense step in and just mediate a little bit? And the answer was no. 27 points at a half is insane. That's like having 70 points at the half for an NBA game in my mind.
That's how much they've been averaging coming into this game, I believe, was 27, and they put up a season-high 44 on this team.
They hadn't had 27 points in the first half since 2019.
I know. Hey, I'm sorry. Can we send this to the league, folks? Can we just stop playing Denver?
No, I'm dead.
I'm over it.
We play them once every 4 years.
That's my point. We can just start playing somebody else. Because I think we've seen enough to know that it's just not going to go the way that the Cowboys want it to go. I'm over it. Stop scheduling it.
I'm screaming. Yeah, I
beg of thee.
I think this was one of those games where you finally got to see the reality of where this team is right now.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's a good point.
they came in. I know the message was this wouldn't be a signature win or statement win, but I mean, let's keep it a buck. It would have been.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a statement, all right.
Please, Christy, the door.
Send her to the door, Bree.
The door.
No, it was.
But yeah,
It
I
was.
mean, it was a statement to where this offense, yes, you have pieces. You have Javonte Williams, who's second in the NFL and leading in rushing yards. You have CD and GP, who are the best wide receiver duo. Of course, Dak Prescott playing at an MVP level, but as a unit, you haven't played nobody. So therefore, I'm sorry. No, it's the truth. You haven't.
Denver has
the
a
way
great
you
defense.
said
They have a great
defense.
They have a great defense, but
Yes.
you haven't played anybody to really find out where you measure up against. And this was kind of like that reality check that I feel like this offense needed and this defense needed. And you go back to Bree's point about where the last, 3 minutes, 47 seconds, you go a 3 and out, and Dak throws an interception on the next drive. I mean, Ferguson, one catch the entire game. Granted, those guys were great at covering, but, I mean, yeah, it would have just been nice. I mean, it also, you can't fault this offense as well, because a whole bunch, because granted, this defense has not been consistent all season long. So I think this was also one of those things where it was like, dang, we've been having to play perfect all year, and this defense hasn't really showed up. So, yeah, what does this road loss say to y'all where this team is right now? Aisha, why is you rolling your eyes at me?
Well, I think you make a great point about the fact that, like, this kind of is a reality check. I think the quarterback and some of the play has been able, specifically on the offensive side, the heroics of the wide receivers and stuff has been able to kind of overshadow some of the offensive line play. And I think you got to see it in this game from the center position, from the tackle position, that there are some spots where these guys aren't as strong. And Denver exploited that to a point to where, again, you couldn't take advantage of a Pat Surtain being out. You couldn't take advantage of, some of the dysfunction on their back end, because there were plays, like I rewatched the game, there were opportunities for Dak. He wasn't as comfortable as we've seen him be.
No.
He really was not, like, setting his feet and going through his reads.
He couldn't.
He literally could not. And you mentioned Ferguson, baby, he was blocking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It was
It's like,
one target
Yeah.
the whole game.
they took him out of the game. And so, to your point, Nicole, I think you make a great point, is that there's this game, when you go against a defense that plays this well, this shows, like, this game really showed the imbalance to defense to offense at this point, and that there are going to be, your offense can have a bad game. Your offense can't have a game, or not even a bad game, where they take some time to figure things out. And when they was trying to figure things out, the defense never figured it out.
They still scored 24 points.
Yeah.
In the NFL, 24 points. That should be a really
On the
close
road,
game.
especially
On the road.
so. Absolutely.
And,
so,
man,
Yeah, I will say that last touchdown, though, the game was already, like,
True.
over, so I'm not even
Yeah.
counting that. But they waved the right flag. I mean, did anybody think Joe Milton was going to have to come in and finish the game? Like, that's how out of hand this game got.
well, with all of the pass rushing, I'm glad it was just that it was coach's decision and not taking Dak out being injured.
I can't imagine how Dak is feeling. I'm assuming he's going to be in an ice bath or two.
Well, it's a good thing that the next game is Monday Night Football, because that's an extra day for these guys to not only lick their wounds, but for Dak to have an ice bath. I mean, he was under duress.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk Boys Talk and talk more about this matchup. Up next here on Girls Talk Boys Talk.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Cowboys Nation, limited single game tickets are available right now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host NFC East rivals Eagles, plus the Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back. Girls Talk Boys Talk presented by Invisalign. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. And ladies, I want to stick to this defense because it was rough. Shout out to Todd Archer for this stat. The Cowboys have allowed 250 points this season. That's the third most through 8 games of a season in franchise history. I'm going to say that again. Cowboys have allowed 250 points this season, the third most through 8 games of a season in franchise history. And we know that this defense was depleted. Christy, talk about that safety room who was down quite a bit of theirs.
Sure. Well, the two starters from the previous several weeks, Donovan Wilson, unable to play. He's a guy who had nearly 100% of the defensive snaps coming in at safety. And with the elbow and shoulder injuries, he was unavailable. And then Wanye Thomas, for the second week in a row, missed the game due to migraines. He didn't even make the trip to Denver. So Marquise Bell got the start again, and then Elijah Clark, the rookie. And Elijah suffered a rib injury midway through the third quarter. And so entering the game, those were the only two safeties on your available on your active roster going in for the game. And so Reddy Stewart, who's your nickel slot cornerback, was the backup safety, and then so was Corey Ballantyne, who's an NFL free agent that the Cowboys brought in a month ago after Zion Childress got plucked off the practice squad by Houston. And so Ballantyne was signed to the practice squad. He was elevated for the game, and so Reddy Stewart was having to come in for Elijah Clark and finish the game. And rib injuries, we don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but those are painful, difficult injuries. So what's it going to be for this coming week if Dono's not able to come back and Wanye continues with the migraine? So, yeah, you talk about makeshift. It was pretty tough. And then Trayvon, of course, late last week put on injured reserve. So you're down to bare bones here in this secondary. And when the front is not able to put pressure on the quarterback, and they barely affected Bo Nix yesterday, it makes it even harder for your defensive backs. So it was very rough.
Yeah, Aisha.
How many more years are we going to be having this conversation about the secondary this time of the year? I know I ain't tripping. And sometimes I be tripping. But I know I'm not tripping. I feel like every year about this time, we are talking about this secondary being decimated, or we're having conversations of who can we bring in and things like that every single year. And again, you can't prepare for injuries, but the safety position is a position that Dallas has been I would say not as proactive as you would want to be about is continuing to make sure that position is being nourished. I understand it's a position that is not like the lovey-dovey feel-good position, but it is important. And you see some of the best defenses have good safety play. You just seen some on the other side of you. Now, what Denver did was they really simplified this game for Bo Nix. Like, they really made it to where, again, you made a great point, Christy, is like the lack of pressure, the lack of sacks. He was able to sit back there and kind of deliver the ball as he wanted. But they did some of those heavy packages like we talked about, where they got extra linemen in there, extra tight ends in there, and they were able to move this Dallas defense off the line of scrimmage all day long. Fantastic stat by True Media. Denver running backs averaged 5.35 rush yards before contact. yesterday.
Sounds like Rico.
So that means you ain't breathing nobody, pinching nobody, nothing before like 5 point. That's, I mean, defensively, this is just not good enough. Like, we can talk about the secondary, but the defensive line, the way that those guys were getting moved off the ball, and I'm talking about defensive ends getting moved off the ball by tight ends, by running backs. Running backs picking you up in blitz situations like you a little tinker toy.
Stop.
Unacceptable. I mean, it's not acceptable, like, y'all. And from a defensive standpoint, is that there was no gap integrity. Denver made you have to come up. They made your secondary have to come up and tackle, and guys just did not fill in the run the way that they needed to. So,
And what was disturbing about the rushing totals and that high yardage, it wasn't skewed as it was in some previous games by a quarterback who's scrambling for 60, 70 yards, right? Bo Nix, what, 1 yard? So, yeah, you're to Aisha's point. This was, the line creating the holes and the running backs taking advantage. So nothing was skewed about these numbers.
3 different running backs averaging over 6 yards per carry, 4, but he only had 1 carry on that one. But that's the type of day that you're having up front. And you could look at any part of this defense, to both your guys' point. There was no strong point in any part of the defense. And the secondary specifically, I'm looking at it yesterday, and even putting Elijah Clark was going out. I was like, dang, like they're literally running out of bodies. But I'm like, who in that safety room should be a starting safety in the NFL? Who in that corner room?
I'm about to pop
You have one. No, it's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's a fact. You have one corner right now that's available who's a starting corner in the NFL, in my opinion. Kyer has proven that he's not a starting corner. He's proven that he can make plays, but he's also, in my opinion, at this point in the season, from what we've seen in the first 8 weeks, that he's a rotational piece. I don't think he's a reliable guy when you're talking about a starter. So this Trayvon Diggs, I know it's a hot mess, but it's a big concern in what they're going to be able to do. Like him going to IR, like it's a lot. But again, Sean Payton saw the injuries. He took advantage of it. Poor Triquez, my Lord. Outside of the interception, I was hyped up. I said, oh, they showed up. And then they did not show up the rest of the game. And to be fair, not to take away from Bridges, I know that's his first interception. And I know he's hyped up, but that was a terrible throw on Bo Nix's part too.
Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily, this great defensive play. It was a terrible decision to do it. And something that stood out to me that I saw on a stat yesterday, 5 out of the next 9 opponents for the Cowboys have losing records. And Nicole mentioned it, who have you played? It don't even matter. Everybody looks great against this defense. Everybody. You just lost to the Panthers. You went in there 12-3 against the Panthers. You dominate them historically, and you lost to them. And then you bounce back, and there's no consistency. Dak after the game saying there's no identity for this team. We just talked about how there was no identity with the defense 2 weeks ago. And now you have your quarterback who's playing outside of last night, great football, saying the frustration is there's no identity with this team.
Yeah, I think there's frustration starting to build over on the offensive side
it in
of
the locker
ball.
room.
I was about to ask you ladies that were in the locker room, what did it feel like? I guess
It felt quick. Some very quick interviews.
Yeah,
I'll listen back to him. It was
I was about to
fast.
say,
You can only ask so much. Like at this point, like you said, when they're on the road, we're asking and we're hearing the same questions and answers over and over and over again. Nobody has the answers to this. And like I know what CD said. I know you were talking about what Kenny Clark had said. The same thing. Yeah, it's not that we don't have the coaches preparing us. We're practicing, what we're seeing, and we're not transferring it on to the field. I don't know how to help y'all. I know everybody's on the fire Matt Eberflus train. I'm personally not, because I don't think somebody coming in right now is going to do you justice, because Matt Eberflus can't make tackles. Matt Eberflus can't come down and drop down, play his gaps. Like, he's putting some of these guys in positions, and it's just not happening. So I think it's still a mix there. I know it's easy to play the blame game and point the finger when the defense is historically bad. But the guys, and not saying they're not taking accountability. I don't know what they're doing.
See, I mean, I feel I agree to an extent, but I also think like you aren't getting pressure rushing 4, and you're not going to. Here's my thing: you're not getting pressure rushing 4. It doesn't matter. It doesn't at this point. It doesn't matter if you blitz or not. Like if you blitz, you're damned if you do, you damned if you don't. You got to do something. And then you also have these guys playing soft coverage. Like it's just, I think it's an execution thing by far. Absolutely, the players have to execute what they're being told. Yeah. But there also has to be some type of happy medium. And if you're not, if this is not working and it hasn't worked for 8 weeks, then you gotta try to do something. Yeah. You cannot continue to do the same thing.
Here's what stood out to me. 2 blitzes in particular by Marquise Bell, who did not get close to affecting Bo Nix. The first one was the touchdown pass, the long touchdown pass. The second one was the play that resulted in the Elijah Clark penalty. Okay?
And is that normally Donovan Wilson? Would that normally be Donovan in that spot?
Could have been, yeah.
Because I think he's a little bit more effective. Go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't even close on the blitz. Exactly.
It's a personnel thing.
See, even Flus was trying. You could see him trying different things. But you're exactly right. It's execution.
It's execution. Let me ask y'all something. So, I'm sorry. There was so much talk about whether or not, obviously I hate to bring up Micah, but that's reality is the fact that people game plan for Micah Parsons. Like he takes up 2-3 guys. Right now, these offenses, they don't respect this defense. They don't really that's just the honest to God's truth. Like,
I love that you're saying
defense, and there's nobody that they fear right now. You know what I'm saying? And so, what can this Dallas team do in order to go out and or really is one person going to be able to fix this defense if you bring in somebody?
No, but do you guys
nah.
Well, here's the thing.
I hate y'all.
What, 8 days away from the trade deadline?
Yeah.
I mean, initially I felt like a win would be, and I know we heard Jerry say, like, if they win this game or not, it's not going to, I think, before the game. Like, it had or after the game, maybe.
Well,
that it had
I
no
talked to him about it before the game.
Yes, thank you. I see you, girl. But, yeah, that it had no bearing on whether they were going to decide to go out in the trade deadline or not. But I was, coming into this game, one of those folks that was like, hey, let's go try to be aggressive. There's a lack of buy-in, and you can see it on tape. And that's, again, it could be, it's personnel. You need certain guys. Like, I think that Flus's scheme does call for certain things and certain types of guys. And to Nicole's point, you make a fantastic point. You do not have a speed rusher. Not one. Because even Donovan Izaraku isn't a fast guy. So all of your ends are powerful guys. No one is getting to the quarterback quick, fast, in a hurry. And so guys just have all the time in the world to navigate the pocket and do what they want to do. This was by far one of Bo Nix's best games from a mechanic standpoint, from standing in the pocket, from reading. And I'm so tired of teams looking like they are just the best thing since sliced bread against this defense, because they going to go out and play somebody next week, and they going to look a little rusty and dusty.
They always start slow, too. We talked about it last week. They're always a slow-starting offense, and the way that they came out.
After the interception, they locked in. You hear me?
Yes.
Locked in.
Yeah.
I never even heard of this Bryant guy.
I did. That's why I mentioned him, because he's a rookie that they was looking for.
Got his first touchdown.
And Evan Ingram hasn't even really been involved in their offense like that. But we talked about it here. I was like, I wonder if they see that Dallas can't cover tight ends and decide Evan Ingram, get back on a roll, brother.
Mims popped off.
Why you like this?
I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. It was such a blur yesterday. Did it feel like a blur? It felt like a blur to me because so many bad things happen in such a small amount of time.
It feels like Nicole's point of, it feels like we're feeling that we traded our best pass rusher. That's what it's feeling like. And it's feeling like nobody did anything to kind of patch that up, if that makes sense. It looks like the offense, we were missing 4 offensive linemen at one point. And because you have a star in Dak Prescott who can make everything look a little bit better and clean it up, and you have the coaching, it didn't look that bad. It actually looked pretty damn good. And then you go to the defensive side of the ball when you start to get injuries, and you don't have either the personnel, the coaching, maybe a little mix of both to be able to look serviceable. Again, not a top, we're not even talking about a top 20 type of defense.
I'm a pop.
We're talking about a serviceable. Can we get to 26-ish?
Please.
And I'm dead. That's how good your offense is, though, on a normal day. So that's the problem I have in this defense. And I agree with you 100%, Aisha. A couple weeks ago, I'm like, you're just two guys away-ish, and this looks good. But then, again, who did we play? We're going to start playing. When you're talking about being a postseason team, I don't want to be a buyer if this is how we're going to look against winning teams.
Yeah, but you can't throw out this season. Dak is still, I know it was bad yesterday for the offense and him not having time to throw, or to Aisha's point, even set his feet and things like that. But this is an MVP caliber season, and are you going to have Pickens
offense?
beyond this year? You don't know.
You do.
I still say that and the East is still there for the taking. I know that the Eagles have looked better the past couple weeks and getting on a little bit of a roll, but there are a lot of people that aren't buying it, and they're an injury or two away from having issues. So the NFC, y'all, the AFC took care of NFC yesterday. Look at all the NFC teams that got beat, and it helps the Cowboys moving forward, in terms of any shot at the playoffs.
I do see your point, because as of now, statistically, the Cowboys are 1.5 games out of a playoff spot. In the NFC East, the Commanders are questionable. The Eagles are figuring things out, and I get that. But I guess it's feeling like, okay, we get in. What's going to happen that first round?
Hey, you get in. You get in. That's all that matters. Get in.
Like, to your point, Aisha, how many years are you just trying to get in and then be done the first round again? And then you go back to next year, because next year, best believe they're going to deep dive into this defense, and they might stay away from drafting offense first. They're going to build on this defense. I'm hoping to see them be aggressive. But then it's so off balance, because now you're going to get all this, they're going to load up on defense. And then to your point, is Pickens going to be here next season? Because now we got to talk about paying some people.
Yep.
And then we got a different type of offense. And I just where's the
No,
balance?
that's a really good conversation to have. I mean, here's the thing about if they are going to touch the trade deadline. The problem that you're having on the defensive side of the ball is that you have and I ain't trying to be funny, you have a whole draft class that gave you nada. Not a damn thing. That 2023 class,
Struggling.
nothing. And that happening has trickled down to where you do not have steady veterans. I mean, you have a Deron Bland. You have some of the safeties that are both injured right now. The arguably one of the best players on your defensive line is someone that you had to trade away your best pass rusher to get. You do not have steady veterans to kind of set the foundation and let some of these younger guys like a Shamar James, like a Maris Leofau, like a DeMarvion Overshawn who's going to be coming back, like a Marshawn Nealon, Izaraku. Like, these guys need time to develop and get their legs under them. That's that's the thing about the draft. Is that 9 times out of 10, it's draft and develop. Development takes time. You have a quarterback in an offense that you can win now with. So if they are going to attack the trade deadline, it can't be a Band-Aid. It can't be, I would hope it wouldn't be someone or people that you're just renting. They got to be here. If they are going to track the trade deadline, they need to be bringing in seasoned veterans for certain spots. So if you go draft, because that's what they're going to do. If they go draft and they go pick up these defensive guys, that it to me, it flows in how these guys are being integrated into this team. But also, too, what are they going to keep this coaching staff together on that side of the ball? Because we just don't know. We just don't know. It's a revolving door when it comes to that side of the ball. I expect for Dallas to keep what they have offensively if they can, but defensively, how do you even bring in a guy or other guys if you don't know if this staff is going to be here next year? It's just too many questions.
Is this a playoff team right now?
No.
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 Not on one side of the ball.
Offensively, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's what Dak is saying. And this is the first time I think that we have heard him say something like, we don't know what our identity is. Because this is a team sport.
Yep.
Like, I understand, like, we can talk about the offense and what they're capable of doing, but again, you knew that this defense was as good as your offense. They are. It's good on good. So there's gonna be times where this offense is not gonna just dominate all game, and you needed your defense to just be good enough to play balanced football, to play complementary football, just enough to at least let this offense get its legs under them in this game, and they couldn't even do that. So no, this is unbalanced, and I'm really worried about the locker room. I am, and I'm not speaking anything into fruition, but naturally, this is a team sport. Football is a machine, and your transmission is out. And you got this thing in neutral on the offensive side of the ball, trying to keep chugging. It's too much.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, and dive into the offensive side of the ball. We talked about defense, but let's get into this offense right after the break.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Enjoy performances by Kat Hasty and other local artists. Get a behind-the-scenes look at AT&T Stadium, meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and alumni, and more. Get your tickets for the next Rally Day on November 2nd at AT&TStadium.com/rallydays.
Wake up! I just felt like that was needed.
Christy, you know a Cat Hasty song?
I do not.
I had to Google her. I didn't know who that was.
A Cat Hasty song?
I don't know who that is.
You know who that is?
No, I thought Chris. You know she are.
No, she's got...
She
Don't do her like that.
If it were
music
Broadway
connoisseur.
musical, I could tell you.
Ooh, Wicked comes out soon, guys.
Oh.
I saw Lion King
Oh.
Saturday night in Denver.
really?
Oh,
Yeah.
One thing about Christy, she gonna go
She
to
gonna
a musical
explore
or
that
something.
part.
She gonna go explore. She's like, y'all not gonna bring me down.
I love that.
What
I
you
love
got
that.
It was a one good part of the trip to Denver.
Oh my goodness. Dang, that's all? That was the only good part.
Well,
I had a good steak.
Oh, no food? No good food?
Yeah,
You got a good steak? How you get your steak?
I had it well done. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's good.
Ooh,
No,
medium
that's
rare.
okay.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
I'm a well done girly.
Chrissy likes hers alive.
I'm a medium girl. Listen. I'll push it a little bit. Push it a little bit.
Well, I can't say much about this Cowboys team being a well done team right now. So I'd say
They cooked all right.
Yeah, they're Shut up! Jail.
Just
Uncooked.
yesterday now. Come on.
Uncooked.
Come on.
Cowboys.
I knew that was coming.
Wow.
Hey, y'all set it up for me. I'm sorry. Cowboys offense, 24 points on the road, but that has been their average on the road this season. But talking about Javonte Williams, 2 rushing touchdowns. Dak Prescott, no passing touchdowns. But just talk about this offense, overall assessment of those guys, and where y'all feel like this team offensively, where they are. What y'all like?
Just disappointing some of the pre-snap penalties, that we mentioned. The defense had those issues as well, but 8 penalties in the first half overall.
My Lord.
That was tough.
Go ahead, talk your stuff, Christy. I'm agreeing.
No, yeah. So
Flavor Flav.
eight penalties. Now that's combined offense and defense. These were 2 of the 3 most heavily penalized teams in the league entering the game. The Broncos actually had more than the Cowboys entering the game, believe it or not. And yet in the first half of the 10 penalties, 8 by the Cowboys, 2 by Denver. So when you're going against such a stout defense, I mean, that really is all 3 levels of that defense. So good.
Yeah.
And you just can't have those self-inflicted wounds, and you can't just struggle with the pass rush. And I think that what we were saying earlier was on point in that, Ferguson, just the one target, you're right, you're having to leave guys in to help, and it's fewer targets downfield because they're having to help with the pass protection. So, yeah, just very frustrating, and when you're going against a team that good, you just can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Wasn't it National Tight Ends Day too?
Please.
How disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
I'm sick of
It
it.
is a little wrong when you think about it like that.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but we were kind of talking up about this being an opportunity for Turpin, and I was kind of disappointed on that. I don't know and it's kind of been week after week, like kind of waiting to see what they can do. And he got a couple targets yesterday, and didn't really see anything happen with that. I think that the defense, before Surtain went out, man, he was right on Pickens. Like, can I say white on rice? I don't know. Okay, white on rice. But dang, like Pickens was doing what he was supposed to, hold on to the ball, dropping down, making sure things were getting caught. But I mean, Surtain was right on him, and I think that was, again, kind of like, not like, yay, he's hurt, but I'm like, okay, he's out. So, and I don't feel like that was like utilized that much. Javonte Williams, I thought it was going to be like a huge revenge game for him, and of course he had those 2 touchdowns, but it was, here in 1 yard run in 2 of those. 13 carries, 41 yards. It wasn't fantastic there. Dak Prescott having 6 attempts, I think that stands out the most. To your point, Christy, earlier talking about how much pressure he was under, I think that stat right there speaks a lot. You saw him a lot. He was trying to do what he's been doing and being patient, escaping, and he was just, I don't want to say trying to force it, but he just didn't have the time, and it showed. And seeing Dak run, I don't ever think that's consistently, it's not going to be, that's not who he is. That's not how this offense runs. So they got away from what's been working, and they had good things going, especially in the beginning. And yes, there was some drives that felt like should have been touchdowns, but not even be able to get points because of the penalties, I think was costly because, again, you don't have a defense who's going to have your back right now. That's just the reality. They're not going to do it.
That's the biggest thing for me. I expected for Dak Prescott to run in spots in this game just because the amount of man that Denver plays. These guys turning their backs, running downfield, their corners or their linebackers, whomever. I expected for him to see grass and to take advantage of that. I do think that CeeDee Lamb, when I went back and rewatched this game, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more information this week, but Terrence Steele had a really good block on the outside, but he blocked his guy into CeeDee Lamb's ankle. And for the rest of the game, when CeeDee catches the ball, he will put his foot in the ground and drive upfield. And I felt like he was a little gingerly. We saw him take himself out of the game multiple times in the first half as well. So I do think that he was a little shaken up. I'll say that. I could be wrong, but that's just my observation. And when you talk about George Pickens, I want to highlight George Pickens and his route running. I do want to mention the fact that he said coming to Dallas he wanted to show that he could be a good route runner, because a lot of people just look at him as deep ball guy, but his feet and his releases and how quick he is, I think we got to see that on display a little more this week. My God, your tackles and your center got worked yesterday. Now, I burn so much respect to Brock Hoffman, but I knew coming into this game that he was going to have his hands full with that Denver interior. And to Christy's point, there was a lot of interior pressure as well.
Absolutely.
So not only
Which is the worst for
yeah.
the quarterback.
So not only is that getting interior pressure, he's also getting that pocket collapsing on him because of his tackles. The offensive line just didn't hold up good enough this week. And Nicole, I think that is a good point. Dak has been able, and his play has kind of been able to overshadow some of the offensive line's deficiencies, but it reared its ugly head in this game, to your point. And I also think when you talk about the run game, something that Denver did really well, number one, they brought some blitzes. We knew that they were going to bring some blitzes with their linebackers. They did some double A-gap blitzing, which they have not done as much. That must have been something that they saw on film and took advantage of. So, I mean, offensively, and then again, you talk about the penalties. The penalties were killer. Every time they were starting to kind of get in a rhythm, we saw Jadon Blue have a couple good runs, like every single time, and then he had the fumble. Every time they kind of got in a rhythm, they got into the red zone, only 2 of 4 on the day. That would have made a difference if they would have scored in the red zone, but they got a penalty, got knocked back, had to end up settling for 3, and clearly you're not in the position. That brings me to my last point. I do, and I think Shotty, when we hear from him, he's probably going to echo this. This was a game where I felt like there were instances in this game where I wanted Dallas to be a little bit more aggressive. Some of those 4th down calls, like I understand where you are positionally and stuff, but this defense has not showed you all day they can get a stop. You might need to go on and try to go get it here. Now, I know he was a little hesitant because of the crowd noise, the pre-snap penalties, all that stuff, but there were times in this game that I wanted some of that aggressiveness that we've seen Brian Schottenheimer have through the season to kind of stand tall, and we didn't see that this game.
Well, the Cowboys have an extra day to try and stand tall against Arizona, but we've got a couple of more days until we start breaking down that matchup. But we are going to dive more into the film, of course, break it all down tomorrow. Cowboys, Broncos still. Cowboys 3-4-1 in the season, but that is a wrap for today's show. For Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll be back here tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!